Indian economic updates. India's Ministry of Defence has rolled out a 15-year technology perspective and capability roadmap, committing massive investments across land, sea, air, space, cyber, and electronic warfare to boost multi-domain combat readiness and deterrence. The plan, reinforced at the RAN Samvad 2025 seminar where Defence Minister Rajnath Singh released the Joint Doctrine for Multi-Domain Operations, emphasizes integrated warfare, jointness, preparedness, and self-reliance under the Make in India drive. Anchored firmly in self-reliance, this roadmap outlines acquisition and development plans for over 200 sophisticated systems, including nuclear propulsion for warships, next-generation battle tanks, stealth unmanned aerial vehicle, hypersonic missiles, laser and electromagnetic weapons, and advanced drone and anti-drone systems, serving as a foundational guide for domestic industry and research and development institutions. The Navy's transformational trajectory includes deploying 10 nuclear propulsion systems for new aircraft carriers and surface combatants, potentially extending India's carrier fleet, and equipping them with electromagnetic aircraft launch systems and warship classes including destroyers, corvettes and autonomous underwater vehicles. Meanwhile, the Army is set to retire legacy platforms in favor of 1,800 future-ready combat vehicles and 400 high-altitude light tanks, integrated seamlessly into networked formations with unmanned aerial vehicles, loitering munitions, robotic counter-IED systems, and advanced precision munitions, emphasizing hybrid warfare readiness. In the skies and beyond, the Air Force will extend its intelligence, surveillance, target acquisition, reconnaissance and strike envelope through platforms such as stratospheric airships, high-altitude pseudo-satellites, stealth unmanned aerial vehicle, and directed energy systems like tactical high-energy lasers, underlining India's push into futuristic aerial and space-based warfare. A formidable offensive edge comes with plans for over 500 hypersonic missiles powered by scramjets, complemented by detection systems for incoming threats, drawing on breakthroughs like the indigenous Extended Trajectory Long Duration Hypersonic Cruise Missile, which boasts Mach 8 speeds, 1,500 km range, and radar-evading flight paths. Beyond hardware, the roadmap reinforces vital cross-domain resilience, with investments in AI-enabled cyber tools, quantum communications, satellite servicing and refueling, modular sensors, multiple global navigation satellite systems, and electronic denial zones, cementing an integrated battle network across space, cyber, and cognitive fronts. In essence, India's 15-year defense vision signifies a profound leap, combining advanced strategic deterrence capabilities, cutting-edge technological innovation, and deep industrial ecosystem alignment to evolve into a technologically dominant, self-reliant, multi-domain military power ready to meet the demands of future warfare. At the Semicon India 2025 summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi declared that India is set to secure a major share of the burgeoning global semiconductor industry, currently valued at around $600 billion and projected to reach $1 trillion in the near future. He likened chips to the digital diamonds of the 21st century, poised to reshape global economic dynamics much like oil did in the last century. Since the launch of the India Semiconductor Mission (ISM) in 2021, the government has approved 10 semiconductor projects, drawing $18 billion, over 1.5 lakh rupees crore, in investment. Prime Minister Modi reaffirmed that commercial chip production is expected to begin by the end of 2025, signaling a shift from consumer to creator in semiconductor manufacturing. A major highlight of the summit was the unveiling of India's first fully indigenous 32-bit microprocessor, Vikram 32, developed by ISRO's Semiconductor Laboratory and presented to the Prime Minister by Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. This space-grade chip, designed to endure extreme conditions such as rocket launches and space environments, has already been flight validated on ISRO's PSLV C-60 mission. Regional innovation also took center stage. In Assam, the Tata OSAT chip, focused on packaging and optimization, and NIT Silchur's Neural Amplifier front-end IC were launched, highlighting the Northeast's growing role in semiconductor assembly and medical tech applications. In Odisha, NIT Rourkela and PMEC introduced 3 indigenous chips, including encryption and biomedical integrated circuit, and a hardware-accelerated multiplier integrated circuit for face recognition use, reinforcing the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision. Further bolstering deep tech innovation, the India Deep Tech Alliance launched a $1 billion venture capital fund targeting semiconductor, space, defense, biotech, and digital economy startups, backed by leading firms such as Accel, Bloom Ventures, and Premji Invest. With infrastructure-backed semiconductor parks, streamlined single-window approvals, design-linked incentives, and robust research and development support, India's comprehensive semiconductor strategy is rapidly taking shape. If execution keeps pace with ambition, the nation may well emerge as a pivotal global semiconductor force, with its digital diamonds shining on the world stage. India, boasting the world's fourth-largest railway network, is undergoing a profound transformation. Modern passenger trains, eco-innovations like hydrogen propulsion, sprawling freight corridors, and infrastructure upgrades are collectively repositioning railways as the backbone of the nation's economic and environmental future. Vande Bharat Express, the passenger train revolution, the flag-bearer of speed and comfort. Since its 2019 debut, the Vande Bharat Express has become emblematic of India's semi-high-speed ambitions, touching speeds of 160 km per hour. Its chair-car variant excels on high-traffic intercity routes, while the sleeper version, with ergonomic berths, automatic doors, and rapid acceleration, offers comfort that rivals Rajdhani services. The government's approval of 200 new Vande Bharat trains, including extended 20-coach formations, will significantly scale capacity and accessibility. Amrit Bharat, the inclusive workhorse. Marrying modern amenities with inclusivity, the Amrit Bharat Express operates in a push-pull format, featuring locomotive units at both ends for swift turnaround. With 22 coaches combining sleeper and unreserved classes and equipped with CCTV, charging ports, and improved interiors, it offers accessible modernization. The 2025-26 expansion includes 100 additional sets, widening its reach to millions of long-distance travelers. Namo Bharat Regional Rapid Transit. India's first RRTS, Regional Rapid Transit System, Namo Bharat, currently serves the Delhi-Meerut corridor. Built by Alstom, under Make in India, these high-performance units operate at 160 to 180 km per hour, powered by advanced ETCS to signaling and LTE-based ATO systems. With 50 more train sets approved, Namo Bharat is poised to deliver metro-level speed to suburban and regional corridors. The bullet train vision defining high-speed India. At the pinnacle of high-speed ambitions, the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail, based on Japanese Shinkansen technology, will clock speeds of 320 km per hour, trimming travel time to under 3 hours. India is also developing indigenous high-speed train sets capable of 280 km per hour, built locally at substantially lower cost. Approved corridors like Delhi-Kolkata underline the intent to elevate long-distance rail to world-class standards. Green innovation, hydrogen trains and sustainability driving change. India is staking its claim in green rail travel. The country's first hydrogen-powered train, developed at ICF Chennai, is set for deployment on the Jind-Sonipat route. Equipped with a 1,200 HP engine, it stands as the most powerful of its kind globally. The project includes 35 such trains under the Hydrogen for Heritage initiative, targeting heritage and hilly routes, with costs per train and infrastructure estimated at 80 crore rupees and 70 crore rupees respectively. Trials and load tests have been successfully conducted. Green hydrogen is explicitly being prioritized by policymakers to reduce fuel costs and carbon emissions across transport sectors. Dedicated Freight Corridors, DFC. Freight and passenger traffic have long competed for rail space. Now, India's eastern DFC, Ludhiana-Dankuni, 1,839 kilometers, is fully operational, and the western DFC, Dadri-JNPT, 1,506 kilometers, is nearing completion, both corridors electrified, supporting double-stack containers and reducing transit congestion. These segregated tracks bolster freight efficiency, freeing up passenger lines for faster services. Proposed mega corridors such as the East-West DFC, Dankuni-Palghar, 2,000 kilometers, and East Coast DFC, Kharagpur-Vijayawada, 1,100 kilometers, will integrate with multimodal logistics parks, streamlining flows of coal, minerals, steel, and more. Projects like the 100-acre multimodal logistics parks near Varanasi, linked via rail and inland waterways, exemplify this seamless cargo transfer model. Freight growth indicators highlighting its growing momentum, Indian Railways posted an 8.5% rise in freight loading between April and August 2025, even amid heavy seasonal rains. The South Western Railway Zone registered record-breaking earnings in August, 418 crore rupees from freight alone, with a 26% increase in load, underlining strong industry uptake. The government's 2025-26 budget, with an allocation of 2.5 lakh rupees crore, signals a decisive push toward railway modernization. The focus spans high-speed passenger services, freight infrastructure, and green innovations, ensuring that India's railways are not just keeping pace with the future but actively shaping it. This transformation is sweeping in both scale and depth. Passenger services, from Vande Bharat to hydrogen trains, are being reimagined for speed, safety, inclusivity, and environmental responsibility. Freight logistics, meanwhile, is undergoing a structural redesign through dedicated corridors, multimodal integration, and close alignment with industrial growth. Together, these developments underscore that India's railways are no longer merely a legacy system. They are evolving into a 21st century transport powerhouse, powering mobility, commerce, and sustainable growth across the nation. The Union Cabinet has approved 4,136 crore rupees in equity support for hydropower projects in northeastern states, aiming to develop 15,000 megawatts capacity over the next 8 years. The funding will cover up to 24% of equity in these projects through joint ventures with the centre, under a scheme running from FY25 to 32. The scheme will utilize 10% of the gross budgetary support for the northeastern region from the Power Ministry's total outlay. Each project can receive a maximum of 750 crore rupees. States must ensure project viability by waiving or staggering free power and reimbursing GST.